If you love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz, and I'm here today to review the 2022 Japanese animated film Suzume, directed by Makoto Shinkai. As the skies turn red and the planet trembles, Japan stands on the brink of disaster. However, a determined teenager named Suzume sets out on a mission to save her country. Able to see supernatural forces that others cannot, it's up to her to close the mysterious doors that are spreading chaos across the land. A perilous journey awaits as the fate of Japan rests on her shoulders. The first thing that you have to know about Suzume is that it's a Makoto Shinkai film. And if you know who Makoto Shinkai is, you know one thing, and it's that his films are gorgeous. And oh my god, is this the same thing here? I gotta be honest, this might be his best looking film. The way that he does the sky, landscapes, animation of the characters themselves, the facial expressions. The film is just a stunner to watch when it comes to animation. Now, I believe this is both a mix of hand-drawn animation and computer animation, but it's blended so damn well that it's just gorgeous to watch. The other films I've seen of his were The Garden of Words, Your Name, and 5 centimeters per second. All three of them were just fantastic to look at. So this is not something that is a shock to me. But even when I watched this, from like scene one, I was like, oh my god, how gorgeous is this? Watch a trailer for this movie and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. You don't even have to take my word for it. You can just, at the end of this review, go look up the trailer for this movie and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. On to the story. The first half of the film is fun, entertaining, and light. The first half is basically an action-adventure movie with Suzume and Suta going all across Japan trying to find this cat that is also like a magical keystone to these doors. And it's just like a really fun and light and humorous kind of road trip movie where they do all this stuff. It's just really fun to watch. When I was watching this first half, I was like, oh, this is pretty fun, you know? You're just having a good time. It's just a fun movie that's got some humor and it's got some action in it. So that's all I was expecting throughout the entire film. That's the first half. The second half shifts tone rather hard with a highly effective ending. The second half of the film is very emotional, and it goes on to a whole other shift. It's much more serious in that end. The shift is kind of off at first. I kind of felt like, ooh, I don't know if this is going to work. But as the film reaches its conclusion, it actually works incredibly well. And it has this emotional gut punch at the end that really had me emotional at the end of the film. It was actually incredibly effective. As a story overall, it's an emotional journey that hits incredibly well. I mean, the film goes from all sorts of directions with all sorts of emotions behind it. It starts as a light, fluffy, kind of fun movie, and it ends with this emotional wallop that if you really get invested in the character and the story, what's going on, it's going to hit you hard. And I've got to say, this is honestly Shinkai's best film so far. And I am a fan. I love 5 centimeters per second. I thought that was an incredibly heartbreaking film that I thought was incredibly touching. But I think this is his best film. This has everything. And it has good action. It's got fun. But it's got an emotional heart and center to it that I think very few films have. It is just a fantastic movie. And if you are into these type of films, you really should give this a shot. Alright, so here are the footnotes for Suzume, and my first footnote is, Radwimp should just do every Shinkai movie, because they just fit so well. I watched a few years ago Your Name, and even though I like the film, I'm not as enamored as most people are in that, but I will say the music in it is fantastic. I love the music. It's one of those few films that once it was over, I had to own the song. And I still listen to those songs to this day. And they were just, oh god, they were just so good. And same thing here. Even though when I watched it on Netflix, they have the option to have it in Japanese or English. And I tried to switch it to English during those songs, and the songs are still in Japanese. So I want to listen to those songs in English because they were still very good in English. So I wanted to check that out as well. So hopefully it's there. I'm going to check that out once I'm done with this review. So overall, if you have not guessed already, I highly recommend Suzume by Makoto Shinkai. What a beautiful film. Not even just with the animation, which is fucking gorgeous, but also the story and the way that it emotionally hits. Just everything about this movie works incredibly well. I had a small problem with the way they shifted tones, but I think it really paid off at the end of the film. It's both emotionally resonant and it's fun. And it's just one of those films I would wish more people would give a chance, but because it's animation, people have that stigma that it's just for kids and whatever, so they're not going to give it a shot, unfortunately. But man, Suzume is probably one of my favorite movies I've watched this year. So overall, I highly recommend Suzume. It is streaming on Netflix, so check that out if you want to see it. Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. All right, so for Thursday, me and Zero are going to be reviewing Kiki's Delivery Service, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Hello. On Saturday, I'll be reviewing Star Trek Nemesis, directed by Stuart Baird. And on Tuesday, I'm going to watch a movie that I said I was going to watch last year for Halloween, and I just switched it in the last minute, and so I'm going to watch it this year. Hopefully I'll stick to it, and that's Haxan, directed by Benjamin Christensen. This is a 1920s documentary that's kind of weird, I've heard, and I'm really interested in checking this out, so I will definitely watch this next week. So, on Thursday, me and Zero are going to be reviewing Kiki's Delivery Service, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Saturday, I'll be reviewing Star Trek Nemesis, directed by Stuart Baird. And on Tuesday, Haxan, directed by Benjamin Christensen. I am The Wiz, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.